Hi, good afternoon. My name is Melissa Garcia, and so in this video I'm going to explain about the relationship in pragmatics between society and language. First, when we use language, we have to consider some social factors that can affect our communication, interaction, or or spoken in the language. So the first social factor that we can find is the social background, and examples in this is, for example, the social background that we acquire in the education, in our school, in our community, in the class that we belong, etc. So the second social factor is the relationship between the speaker and the listener, or the person that received the information or the message of the speaker. And can be an example can be to a friend, to our member or family, a teacher, or salesman, or employer, etc. And the third social factor is the context and the way that we have the interaction, because it's important that we consider the place and we are when and how the language occurs. So with the last mention and how the social factors affect the language is called sociolinguistics, that also this studies the relationship between the society and the language. For example, and if in a class, and if you didn't hear well that the teacher said, you can ask to the classmate or to the teacher. If you ask to a classmate and you can only say what the teacher said, but if you ask to the teacher and you can say her or say him, and would you repeat me again that you say please. So with this we can found that the relationship between the speaker and the receiver is so important, because with this we can use different words and different vocabulary, or we can use different appropriacy or formality. So we need to identify that the language in society is important, because the two are related between them, and so we cannot speak correctly if one of the two are missing. So we can define society as the group of people that share or have the same language, or have a particular activity or purpose. And so with this we can find that the language is so important in the society. And another important aspect is that the value of language depends on the society, and for example the people who use the language and how they use it. An example is when we have a value of judgment, and depending on the people that speak in particular language. For example, if we can communicate with an American, but if we don't like how the people is, and this can affect the interaction that we want to how we can have with them. So, and for this it's important because language defines identity, and or in other words, and language can define us. For example, if we are a man or we are a woman in this case, or of which social class we are belong to, or the most important that we are from, and what, because depending on it is the language that we use. And so language permits us understand the social environment on how and we perceive the things in the world. So, for example, to interact and talk with any group, and to know how they live. And for example, that I mentioned that if I want to communicate with someone, it's important and communicate and use the language that is from they are, and it's called uh, taper word hypothesis. And to end with this video, language is used for establishing and maintaining social relationships, exchanging the information, also depending on the situation that we are. And for example, it's important to consider the situation, because with this we can use the correct words to communicate. For example, it's we can use some words if only we want to congratulating to someone, or if we want to just reading. And so we use different words, and depending on the situation and the context that we are. So to finish with this, it's important to study language in relationship with the society, because the two have a strong relationship between them, and we cannot speak correctly if one of the two is missing, or if the two are separate. So this is it for me, and thank you.